I was barely, or my team was barely three months in office before we stumbled upon this replica project, and it was a big blessing to us because we came to office in July 2021, and 3 months thereafter, the sub-county corporate officer, Mr. Wasike, met us and said that he was coming to see us with some visitors, and that is what brought us together. And the visitors happened to be now Mr. Alpato Moya and 2 friends, and thereafter we have Victor Noel. But prior to that, at that particular time, we came to office when the society was nearing, or had started pulping. They had just started pulping, and the amount of money that was in on the account was, to say the least, by the time we ended it was just 2 million. Out of the same way, was expected to do all the operation, including the payment. And at that particular time, we also had problems. The problems were there was over borrowing by the immediate former management to an extent that the society was supposed to pay 17 million and some hundreds on top. So we came in when the situation was as pathetic as I'm putting it. So on assumption, there was some little infighting. And infighting fueled by some members of the immediate board that had gone out. It's like they believed it could come back, but they had overstayed in the office. And after overstaying in the office, they took it for granted that they would still stay back. But due to public demand, and by then the members were getting tired, out of the 7 directors, 7 management committee members, only 1 survived by a whisker, winning by a single vote of a farmer in his electoral area. The rest were new members. So we arrived there, they came, they have given us hope. They have given us hope in every aspect.
Okay, and are there any changes you've seen since the Arabica project came?
Huge, and many of them. One, I believe the number has gone up. The number or the membership has grown over the period. And that means there's a lot of trust from members. And when the number grows, production naturally also goes up. And as production goes up, it means that answers a little bit more money in terms of site commission to help us run the society. 2, through this learning process, our Arabica project has enabled us to access education at no cost. At no cost, because the funding is done by the Arabica project. So it means it is saving us a little money that we could use to educate the farmers, to do other things that are beneficial to the members of the society. And by doing that, they have enabled us, with even the little production that was there by the time we are taking over, it has enabled us to clear the 17 million debt that was there barely 23 months ago.
Okay, and is there any advice you would give to the youth to interest them more in coffee production?
Yeah, I have. You know, the one thing that is clear is that most of the youths shy away from this coffee farming. It is unfortunate that most of them have never known that coffee can be a game changer in their lives. Those people who are doing well in coffee, who are working, if despite the depressed price at times, coffee pays. I say so because as an individual, I do coffee farming as my major income earner. And I've been a coffee farmer from my 20s. When I was in my 20s, I joined the board of management for the first time when I was, let me say, way back 1996, when I was about 30 years old. Then I joined the board. Along the way, coffee business or coffee farming is full of politics. It came a time when I realized that by that time, there are people whom I can term as people who are willing to play to the cartels. I mean, do anything that but use the money to cover that. I differed with them. Coincidentally, the CEO of that time was among those people who would not wish anything to be put in white and black so that it's clear to know how much I spent on what. We differed. You know, he used some society's money to sponsor me out, to fight me. And it came a time when I felt it would be safer for me to remain a coffee farmer than pay on the management. So I went back to coffee farming. And I was out for 7 years. But before 7 years could elapse, farmers realized that the society had nosedived in terms of production, in terms of doing business, and in terms of even the paying and fed. After that is when people came clamoring for change. They said they wanted new people to manage the affairs of Khachonge FCS. I was lucky to be among those ones who came back. And I can say for sure, most of the youths, as you put it, I go back to the youths, most of the youths shy away from coffee farming. And those who are even allowed to do the coffee farming, they are so casual about going that business. They don't work hard. I've realized even through this project where they are allowed to come and learn, those who are majority of the youths majority of them will not wish to come and attend those meetings. Without even good reasons, you will see that they will create excuses, a number of them, to be away. And I've realized if they came, then our societies can never be the same. Because if they came, they have the energy, they have the skills, and they have the time to ensure that they can bring coffee in large volumes. And anytime you have a lot of coffee from your farm, Patrick, naturally that it improves the quality of the coffee. And as we are saying, we are trying to lure them to the coffee farming, but there are few who are coming. And we are hopeful that through learning, we are going to have a big number. That number growing day by day.
Okay. Now, the last question. What are the biggest challenges you have as a cooperative?
We have a change of challenges. One of them is underproduction. And anytime you have underproduction, you know we have the potential. I know we have the potential to go up to even 1.5 million, but what we are producing is not enough. And it's that underproduction is as a result of a number of factors. One, if we digitalize the society fully, it not be easy for one to move from one society to the other. So we have what we call hopping farmers, hopping from this society to the other one, next time to the other one, the other time. So one, it creates instability in terms of the volumes you produce per year, because you can never be sure how many will be moving out. So this issue of underproduction, and underproduction automatically leads to a low amount of money you receive in the name of society commission. That money you cannot be able to utilize the same money to do the budgeting. So that cycle of loans goes on like that. Two, I do also believe we have laws that are at times altered. The rules are very clear. The law is very clear that whoever must be elected on the board of management must have at least a minimum educational background. At times those things are paved aside to ensure that some people come and get the position. When they get there, I've realized that they have no regard for the law. It becomes very hard for them to say, the law is very clear. We're entitled to 20% society commission. Out of this 20%, we must budget for this 20% to do this. Some of the things that the money is there, Mr. Chairman, can you allow us to go and do the benchmarking elsewhere when you don't even have money to run the operation of that? So the issue of education is also a factor. I've realized on my current board, where I'm the chair, I still believe that there are a few individuals who are I believe, by my judgment, I would say underqualified to be on the board. So they add lead value, and they become a liability because they are earning the allowances, but they are not adding any value. Another challenge, we are very close to Kenya-Uganda border here. When you are in Chesiro, the Kenya-Uganda border was just a few kilometers. They could have shown you that is the border. So a lot of our coffee is smuggled. And even last year we lost some coffee. Last season we lost some coffee at Khachonge FCS. We have people who smuggle coffee across to Uganda, and they usually work with the security apparatus within this region, and they will decide to do the night cards, use some monetary advances. I say we are going to give you this much, we can give you this much as an advance, but once we get out the coffee, we shall pay you this, and we lose, as a region, we lose a lot of coffee through the porous Kenya-Uganda border.
Okay.
So as we are talking, we have a case after losing the coffee. We have the night guards who are there colluded. We have a case with them, and that case is like it's taking the direction it's taking is not very pleasant. In fact, we have reached a place where we believe that if we could agree, we could sort it out of court, because Khachonge FCS has lost a lot of coffee over a number of years.